Hello, this is Tomonori, your instructor for Japanese 103. Today, we talk about the frequency. Um, this is the constructions that exist in English as well. So, example of the equivalent sentence constructions in English is like twice a week. Oh. Meaning you do 2 times each week, or 5 times a month. So you do something for 5 times each month. Right? So in the examples here, in English, it actually consists of two different pieces, right? So the first one is how many times you do, so frequency. So how many times you do, and this is duration, right? So it's almost like each x. Okay, the equivalent construction in Japanese also consists of the frequency and duration. Okay, and then like many other things, like in Japanese, Japanese almost always works backwards when it comes to word order. Since in English, you say frequency first, followed by duration. In Japanese, as you predicted, the duration comes first and frequency is after, right? So, excuse me. We first say duration, followed by frequency in Japanese. And plus, there's a very small difference, which is ni. In Japanese, between the duration and frequency, we add ni between. Okay. So before we start, let's start reviewing how to say frequency and as well as the duration. In this case, it says period. In Japanese, I think you already learned this. The sentence, the word kan makes change from specific time to duration, right? So for example, if I say ichiji, that's a specific time, 1 o'clock. So 1 o'clock is always 1 o'clock. But if you add kan after that, ichiji kan, that becomes 1 hour. So it doesn't indicate any specific time anymore, but talks about the duration, right? The same way, 1分間 means 1 minute. So it talks about how long it is. But if you say 1分, means 1 o'clock 1 or 2 o'clock 2. So without the kan, it's a specific time, but 1分間 means 1 minute. 1時間 is 1 hour. 1日間 is 1 day. 1週間 is 1 week. 1ヶ月間 is 1 month. 1年間 is 1 year. Right? Sometimes kan gets dropped. So if you talk about the day, month, or year, often kan gets dropped. You can say that. There's nothing wrong to say it, but many people just drop kan. But you have to use time or week. You cannot drop kan to indicate the duration. Okay. So let's see the summary here. So day, 1日 is 1 day, but you can also say 1日間. Oh. If you want to be very, very specific, you can say 1日間 too. The same way 2日間, meaning 2. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. For hours, 1時間、2時間、3時間, and as I said, kan is always used. You have to say kan for hours. For month, again, kan is optional. You can say 1ヶ月 or 1ヶ月間 or 2ヶ月 or 2ヶ月間. Year, again, kan is optional. So you can say 1年間 or 2年間. Okay. So that's the how you say duration. So these are all duration. Okay. So in order to use the same expression as English once a week or twice a day, you also need the frequency, which is here. So frequency once is 1回, twice is 2回, 3 times is 3回, 4回, 5回, 6回, 7回, 8回, 9回, 10回. Okay. So that's how you say once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. Okay. There is also a different expression to talk about frequency, which is 度. Instead of 1回, we can say 1度, 2度, 3度, 4度, 5度, and it follows the pattern like 6度, 7度. So this is also very similar to English. English does have the 2 different ways to say frequency. So when you talk about the once, actually you're not saying one time. Like you could have said one time a week, and it's actually acceptable to say that. But we say once a week. That's a more accepted or more frequent usage of frequency expressions in English. Or twice. Twice, actually 2 times, but many people say twice a week. Okay. The same way in Japanese, we have 2 different expressions, do and kai. Okay. And it also very similar to English, 1度, 2度, or maybe 3度. So if it's like very small numbers, like once or twice or 3 times, in English very specifically 1 and 2, because there is nothing for 3 times. 3 times, yeah. So once, twice. But in Japanese, up to maybe 3, people tend to use do. Okay. But it's not always. Like it's much more preference than as a rule. So you can say 1回, that's perfectly acceptable, but people tend to use 1度 instead of 1回 up to very small number, usually up to 3. Okay. But again, there's nothing wrong to say 1回, or there's nothing wrong to say 5度. It just people don't use as frequent. That's all. So going back to the construction, again, we say duration, ni, and frequency. So we use all of these mixed together. We say frequency, duration first, followed by frequency. 1日間に3回くらいコーヒーを飲みます。1日間に3回くらいコーヒーを飲みます。is I drink coffee 3 times a day. 1週間に2回くらい寿司を食べます。I eat sushi twice a week. Okay. So let's do examples. 私は週に4回ラーメンを食べます。私は週に4回ラーメンを食べます。So here, you this one even dropped 1. So 週 means 1週間. Okay, and like I said, can get dropped, but when it's a 1 week, you can also drop one. 私は週に1回寿司を食べます。私は週に2回カレーを食べます。私は週に5回パスタを食べます。私は週に4回ピザを食べます。私は週に2回ハンバーガーを食べます。私は週に3回サラダを食べます。私は週に3回サンドイッチを食べます。私は週に10回果物を食べます。私は週に5回野菜を食べます。私は1日に2回コーヒーを飲みます。私は1日に1回紅茶を飲みます。私は週に5回ビールを飲みます。私は週に5回ワインを飲みます。私は1日に2回ジュースを飲みます。私は1日に1回牛乳を飲みます。私は週に3回スポーツドリンクを飲みます。私は1日に5回水を飲みます。水。私は週に3回お茶を飲みます。私は週に2回スムージーを飲みます。私は週に3回ジムに行きます。私は週に6回勉強します。私は週に5回テレビを見ます。私は週に5回本を読みます。私は週に2回買い物に行きます。私は週に4回友達と会います。私は1日に2回お風呂に入ります。私は1日2回歯を磨きます。私は週に3回部屋を掃除します。私は週に3回服を洗います。